Well, so far I've talked about the idea of exchanging dollars for time and how you can make more money in a specific period of time by doing things a little differently. And then I also talked about what kind of equipment you might need and systems you might have if you want to be doing these things using video. And today I thought I would talk about the next issue that you might run into. And that's if you're trying to triple your revenue in 12 months or less, then obviously one of the things you're going to have to do is grow your list of customers. And that's always a challenge. And there's a concept that's going around, it's been around for a few years, that basically talks about your ideal client. You should be really talking to your ideal client. And sometimes that gets confusing to people. I prefer to look at it as you already have a list of customers. And I'll give you a different way of thinking about that list. Let's say that you have a list of 1,000 customers, and they're real customers. They bought something from you. It's highly likely that if you replicated that list and got twice as many people that spent the same way as the original list, that you might eventually get to tripling your revenue, but it would be a challenge in some respects. It ends up there's an easy way to find out who your ideal clients are, and that is to take that list and put it in a spreadsheet and sort it by revenue. You'll probably find out that 20% of your customers, they generate 80% of your revenue. So in your case, if that's usually the industry standard of the way things look, what's important about that is if you're going to increase your list, it makes more sense that you're increasing your list based upon the 20% that are giving you 80% of your revenue. So imagine now if you could have a list of 1,000 and then somehow you could generate a list of another 1,000, but those 1,000 sort of look like and are interested in and have spending patterns that are equal to the 20% that generate your 80% of revenue. That's a big difference, and that's something that you should be looking at. Now, if you haven't had a list and you're sort of starting out, you've got a different kind of challenge, but there's ideas that you might be able to do in order to find out who might be your ideal client. One of them is to go and search for, if you're focusing on a certain area and you know what keywords you would generate in order to describe what it is that you do, you could take those keywords and put them into Google in a search engine and find out what kind of companies come up. The other thing you can do is do the same thing on Amazon or iTunes, because those are also sources where people are looking for content or products and services in the case of Amazon. So you have the ability to go in there. Now, once you get a list of companies, one of the things you can find out is who are the ones that are similar to what you are, and which ones are influentials. In other words, a lot of people go and follow them and track them. And you can actually be able to find out, who they are, and then you can sort of say, okay, so I want to sort of look like them, and there's ways that you can actually do things to make it look like you. You can actually, if you haven't done anything with your own list, if they create content, if they have blog posts that are putting out papers and such, and you like them, there's a concept called curating, which is not plagiarism. It's actually you're taking your stuff and you're putting it out there to in your words, a different audience. And most people that own that content really aren't going to bother because you're actually advertising for them. But it's another way of being able to build a list. So there's lots of ways to be able to do that. And whether you think your customers are on Facebook or LinkedIn, you have the capability of going in and finding out where there might be some possible customers to build your list. So that's the way of thinking about growing your business. Don't try to replicate your whole list because all those people are not contributing the same way. Figure out who your 20% are and what is it that they're buying, what is it that they're looking for, and put together campaigns and programs talking about those type of things to a much broader audience. And hopefully you start to attract the people who represent that 20% universe in your current list. Until next time, you take care. And in the meantime, if you have any questions, as always, you can leave comments down below, or you can email me at jfbutz@gmail.com. Take care.